Kia ora koutou, ko Angela Caves tōku ingoa, no mai haere mai. Welcome to the Tai Tokerau Northland Business Growth and Support Virtual Conference. My name is Angela Caves and I'm the Partnership and Events Lead with Digital Boost. It's my pleasure to be hosting you this afternoon. Welcome to our audience who have joined us in the webinar now, and a warm welcome to those who are watching via our live stream on either Facebook, LinkedIn or YouTube. We've had a wonderful first afternoon, and this will be our last session for the day. We've got 2 more afternoons full of information and bringing to you a lot of the business support agencies in the Northland region. On the webinar this afternoon with me, I have got my co-hosts from our collaborating organisation. So I've got Rich Volkman from connected.govt.nz. Rich is based in the Northland region and is an employment liaison advisor with Connected. Welcome, Rich. Rich is going to take us through some webinar housekeeping and then introduce our guest speakers. Thank you.
Kia ora, Angela. Thank you for that, and kia ora to all our viewers today to this final session of day 1 for the Digital Boost Connected event with New Zealand Trade and Enterprise. So we'll just go through a little bit of housekeeping before I introduce our guests. For those of us who are joining us on the webinar, you can see and hear us, but we can't see or hear you. So if you would like to ask any questions throughout this session, please pop that down into the chat bar, the function at the bottom of this seminar, and we'll address any of those questions towards the end of the presentation. This session is also being recorded, so it will be uploaded to YouTube playlist on the Digital Boost channel for post-event viewing as well. So all registered attendees will be able to watch this back in a provided link. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce you to Victoria Hayward and Hannah Gillespie from NZTE, or New Zealand Trade and Enterprise. Welcome, and I'll hand the floor over to you.
Brilliant, thank you for the warm welcome. So thanks everyone for staying in for the last session of the day. I'll share my screen and get going. Okay, so Victoria and myself, we are going to rotate in terms of talking, but firstly we'll give you a bit of a snapshot in terms of who we are. So I work with manufacturing customers here in Northland, so Warkworth up to tip of the Northland, and Victoria is a customer advisor based in Auckland who works with a large range of our customers domestically. New Zealand Trade and Enterprise, we're the export arm of the New Zealand government, and we sit under a portfolio within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. To kick things off, what I thought might be quite useful is to hear from some of our customers that we work with and help them grow their businesses into global markets. So I'm going to click here and it will open up into YouTube and you can hear from some of our customers.
We want to take the finest of New Zealand to the world. Kia ora. Kia ora. And that's why we've partnered with NZTE.
We're still relatively small, but we're dreaming big.
There's a good potential we're going to be global.
But there's a lot involved when you go to export.
It was a minefield, layers upon layers. You will get trapped if you don't know the pathway through.
And that's where NZTE steps in.
NZTE fill in the capability gaps.
They hit things on the head, and that's because they have the experience.
Digital presence is key, and New Zealand Trade and Enterprise has really helped us learn about that.
They know what is going on in the market. It could really help you to avoid big mistakes.
They're there all the way. Kanohi ki te kanohi, which means face to face.
Sometimes I feel like they are just like my team and I don't have to pay them.
NZTE is free.
You would have rocks in your head if you didn't use NZTE.
Get in touch. May change your life.
And that's a wrap.
Okay, so we'll just take you through a brief kind of overview of NZTE and how we can help you and your business or your ideas or what it might be. Sorry, this is a click through to another. Okay, so you can see there a a gentleman there in a manufacturing facility in New Zealand. And so what New Zealand NZTE's core focus here is to help New Zealand businesses achieve their global growth. So we are definitely here for the more export side of New Zealand businesses, and we're working with those customers to really understand what it is that they need, and if they're looking at, you know, exporting into Australia or the States or Asia or wherever it may be, that they get the right support at the right time. And so we have a range of different customers globally that domestically, sorry, that have a variety of needs. And it could be something like, you know, you're just starting out, you've got a product or an idea that you've been selling, and you think there's a really good market for it overseas. And so we've got a whole lot of support, especially online, through our NZTE website, that can provide that support that you might need. And there's a whole lot of resources, tools, articles, and we'll go through that and show you what that looks like shortly. But for me as a customer manager here in Northland, definitely the NZTE and online portals, certainly a large proportion of where I spend my time and provide really timely updates and information to customers. So it's there, it's a tool, and it's free for people that want to go in and log in and have a look. So New Zealand Trade and Enterprise, we are a business that's split into two core functions. So we have an investment team that you can see there on the right, and they're focused around investment and looking at investors internationally and domestically. And they're wanting to come into New Zealand and look at opportunities on how they invest in New Zealand companies. So an example could be that you have a particular product, you don't have the cash or the capital behind you to be able to expand your manufacturing facility or your operations. And so the investment side of our business will help work with those New Zealand companies and look at opportunities out there of international and domestic investors that are looking to come in and invest. And there's different opportunities depending on the type of company you are, what region you play in, and the sector that you're involved in. The customer way, where myself and Victoria spend most of our day, is where we're working with companies in New Zealand, and they can range from 3 different levels, so engaged, focus, and coalitions. And those companies in New Zealand are wanting to get into international markets or expand their business into international markets. And we work with them on how they do that. And you'll see in a few slides' time the footprint, I guess, of our global office reach. But a lot of the customers are looking to get into those regions there that are pointed out. So North America, Latin, East Asia, China, Europe, AusPac, and Middle East. And so, the role here for us is how do we get them better traction into those markets. Next slide. I think Victoria is now going to talk a bit about our core offering for our New Zealand trade customers.
Lovely, thanks Hannah. So as Hannah said, I am a customer advisor. So our team, there's a team of 7 of us. We work across around 4,000 early stage exporters that are that may have a strong domestic focus but wanting to explore their overseas opportunities, and they might already be exporting already and wanting to go into new markets. So that's our team and my core role. So as Hannah said, my NZTE is our knowledge hub. That's where we often start with our customers to get them understanding the markets, the different research and insights that we've got there. They all come from our in-market teams in the various regions that she mentioned. So there's events, learning guides, insights, and you'll see on the left there is our customer advisor team. All customers have access to our advisor team. Export Essentials is our workshop for exporting, and that is basically exporting 101. So from start to finish, how to get started on your export journey and how to grow and develop your export capability. We've got our investment services, and then we've got our NZ Inc. partners who we often refer off to as well, depending on the need. Hannah works primarily with the focus portfolio. So within that portfolio, you're assigned a customer manager, there's in-market support, some funding, International Growth Fund is one of those. Springboard also sits under that. Then we've got our market research and external advisory services. And again, access to the other things down the right there that all customers get access to. Thanks, Hannah. Next slide.
Thanks, Victoria. And just to point on that, the content in My NZTE is quite vast. If you have some time to go and have a look, it really does range from guides on different markets and how to operate in those markets. So you'll see shortly when I show you a screenshot, how to operate in Vietnam, what are the kind of rules and plays that you need to understand as someone exporting in that market. But there's also recruitment guides, there's all sorts, and it's quite varied and quite wide. So, even if you're not ready to export, there's so many different guides in there that can help paint the picture and get you started.
Yeah, exactly. And it might also be, we've got tools there, how to get started on export. So it might be that you're just starting to think about it. So there's some great tools there as well, if you're at that very beginning stage.
So this is what My NZTE looks like. And the link is, I think you just type in to Google My NZTE and it should come up there as a link. It will ask you to log in and you can create a profile. And then from there, it will log you in your company, if you've got a company that you're wanting, that you've got established, and it will go from there. You can see here, I've clicked on Discover. So what it's done here is brought me to a screen and it's showing the most recent articles that have been published on My NZTE. There's quite a strong Vietnam flavour there, and if you have been watching the media, you'll know that there's a delegation over in Vietnam at the moment. So very timely in terms of the articles that are on My NZTE, but you can filter them and however you want to cut that data. There's also, you can see across the top there, you can attend. So there's different types of sessions and things that you can attend. But some of this is also locked down for people that are in that Focus 1400 portfolio. So the Focus 1400 portfolio is basically 1,400 companies nationally who have met a criteria, and they have access to a whole lot of different articles and different sessions and that they can attend, and also access to the funding that we have available for those companies that are looking to head overseas and maybe test a market or expand into a market. Okay. And then this here, I'll get Victoria to talk about this slide here.
Yeah, sure. So this just gives you an overview of our reach from New Zealand. So New Zealand is our hub, our home base, and you can see that our offices are sprinkled across the country, and we are very connected. One of our main sort of values here at NZTE is that we're one global team, and yeah, you can see there that throughout these different regions, Latin America, North America, China, Asia, Australia, Middle East, and Europe, we have offices in all of those regions, and they're really they're very, very important to what we do, because they're the eyes and ears on the ground. They're the specialists, the in-market gurus, if you like, that we really need to connect in with to help our customers grow in those different areas. So yeah, that's a bit about that. And yeah, there's a lot of people throughout these areas that are doing very, very different things with customers may be in one of these areas or all of them. It just depends. So yeah, that's a bit about that one.
Thanks, Victoria. And so if we look at Northland and businesses that we work with day to day in Northland, so New Zealand Trade Enterprise, we're kind of split into 3 sectors. So there's food, beverage and consumer goods, manufacturing, the team that I sit in, and then tech, so technology. And so for Northland businesses, really active in exporting, and there's some really big companies up here that are doing some amazing things, and also some companies that have probably been small scale in terms of the export journey, and over the last couple of years with help from NZTE have really scaled up and gone global. If you look at most of the trade, so you would think that being our closest trading partner, Australia and the Pacific, would be kind of the natural market of choice, but you'd actually be quite surprised where companies are sending and exporting their products to. So in Northland, we've got products heading in a lot into North America. It's a large market. There's a large agricultural market in South America, especially around Chile and that. So they've got a large dairy industry there, and obviously New Zealand's leading the way in terms of technologies and different systems around dairy. So there's a large market there. I've got customers who are into Europe, so quite a few, and it's amazing kind of all the different products in that, and what's available and out there. So I guess the point I like to make is that don't kind of think that there's one particular market that might just be suitable for your product. There's so many different options out there, and hence why we've got quite a large global reach, and our staff sitting in all these different offices around the world to help customers understand those markets a bit better, especially when you can't speak the language or you don't understand how they do business. That's what they can help you do. They can help you understand that market a bit better and what it is that you need to do to get your product into that market. And that is the end of our presentation. So I don't know if there's any questions in the chat. I'll just...
Yeah, we do have one. I think you've already covered off part of the question there. And that was how active are Northland companies and involved in exporting? What is the theme of engagement? Is it mainly primary sector, or is it actually something else altogether?
So it really varied, to be honest with you, the different products coming out of Northland and being exported. So they're not typically the same product line or category. Like there is quite a large agricultural flavour. Yeah, but there's manufacturing, there's sustainability products, there's all sorts. And that's what I think is really exciting about working with these companies, is that it's amazing, what actually is being manufactured in New Zealand or produced in New Zealand and then sent all over the world. And New Zealand has a very strong reputation and brand globally through the work that we do. And so the products are, the name New Zealand resonates a lot with our global markets, and that can definitely help you going forward.
Yeah, I know the Asian market in particular love our green brand, and the quality of what we're making, it really appeals to their market as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially in food and beverage.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. And so is there any other industries in Northland that are exporting, or like you say, it's just varied and very broad?
Yeah, so we've got some food manufacturing way up north, Kaitaia way. We've got, if you come down through Whangarei and Dargaville, quite a number of different manufacturing firms that are manufacturing all sorts of different goods. But as I said, it's not, you find that regions like Waikato are quite heavy around agriculture because of being in that particular region. But I think Northland's proximity to Auckland ports and it's quite far ranging in terms of the different products being manufactured out of here.
And I suppose they're also going off far and wide. It's not really like they're all just going to our main trading partners, are they? They're sort of quite spread, are they?
No, and that's what I was saying. Most companies aren't sending their products into Australia. Most are going far beyond that. And the global financial, the COVID certainly made it difficult to get your supply and that through the shipping routes and that, but it's all stabilizing in that. And so, everyone's pretty active out there now.
Yep. And do you guys ever gather like all the different businesses that are exporting within, say, Tai Tokerau? Do you ever gather together to sort of share learnings and have a convening, if you like?
Yeah, so we meet monthly, myself and Victoria, with Northland Inc., who's our economic development agency up here. Also Callaghan, the innovation agency, and we all work together in terms of identifying new business in Northland that is coming through. They've got runs on the board, they're looking at exporting and how can we assist them. And so what tends to happen is the Northland Inc. team are working closely with them, mainly probably more the domestic work, and then they'll refer businesses that are exporting or looking to export over to NZTE, and then we help work with them and get them on the journey in terms of helping to identify different kind of what is it that they're after, what is the product that they're looking to export, and just providing some initial advice.
Yep. Okay. Well, just some other questions there before we sort of start to wrap things up. Is there funding available for all exporters?
So the funding is available for those that are in I talked about the F1400 group. So anyone can have access to my NZTE. You can log in. It doesn't ask you for your credit card details. It's all free. There is funding available though for the F1400, and to get and to get into that category, you need to be you need to have a level of exporting revenue coming into your business. Yeah. So you need to be
a payback thing to warrant it.
Yeah, and it shows us that you've got some runs on the board, and that we can assist and help you go further. And our aim here is to grow bigger, better, faster. So if you've got some product in market being exported, then we can help get you on that journey, and there's funding available. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I know. So one last question here. Is there a theme of what size a business? Is there a theme of what size of business before they start thinking about exporting? So I guess, does a business start thinking about exporting once they've reached a certain size, or have you got sort of 1 and 2 people businesses that are actually exporting?
I'll probably get Victoria to answer this because you talk to businesses all day, every day. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the very smaller businesses that we talk to that might not be very established here in New Zealand domestically, I think that they once they speak to us, they kind of get an understanding that they might be a little bit early to export because of the the costs involved and the capability to do it, whether they have enough people, the money to actually go and export, because it is very expensive. So I think it would be once you're quite established, probably domestically, or that you've got the product and the capability to start.
And sustain that.
Yeah, and also remember we've got the investment arm of NZTE, so you might have an idea or of a particular product that's needed in the market, but you need the funding to be able to get that up and running and capital to invest in whatever you might need to manufacture or come up with the solution. So there's definitely that option as well of NZTE, and I think it's definitely another a key component of what we do here, and linking up companies with investors and getting that funding into New Zealand or from domestic investors who like to give back to different businesses that are looking to start up. Yeah.
So what would be the next big thing that New Zealand would export, do you think? Just on a hunch? We've got our wine, we've got our agriculture, but is there anything that you think that's going to be up and coming?
I think there's a really large push at the moment. If you read, you can see COP27 is on at the moment in Egypt, and there's definitely a strong tilt towards sustainable products. And if you've got an idea around a product that's less carbon, more sustainable, there's definitely, I think there's a growing market for those particular products globally. And you can see now that, especially in Europe, if they're looking to import products from overseas, they will ask, how much carbon was used to manufacture or create this product. So it's definitely a growing global trend. More
awareness around that carbon footprint.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay, well, perfect. Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing all of that with us. I think that was really insightful and some good value there, so appreciate that. I think we'll hand back to Angela.
Thank you, Rich. If I can just add my thanks as well. Thank you to Hannah and Victoria for coming on and sharing about what NZTE does, how to start, launching your business into that export market. Some really valuable information there, I think, for our small businesses, and great to see that Northland is doing so well in the export market with a huge variety of products getting out across the globe. Good job up there. If you are looking to get in contact with NZTE, but you're not quite ready right now, but in a few months' time you might want to come back and think, can't remember where I heard that information, you can head over to Connected. Rich, who's the Employment Liaison Advisor in the Northland region, will be able to make that connection for you. Alternatively, of course, you can come back and watch this and get some information from our webinar, or head over to My NZTE to start that journey. If you are looking to take stock of your digital footprint to make sure you are prepared for that export market, please head over to Digital Boost, sign up there and use our free products and resources there to help you with your digital transformation journey. In particular, our tool Checkable will be valuable for you. Checkable is a diagnostic tool. It will take stock of your current digital footprint. It will give you an analysis of where you're at and some next steps and some quick wins to help you on your digital transformation journey. That is the reason that Digital Boost and Connected have partnered, is we are part of that ecosystem with all the other agencies that you can see on screen here alongside NZTE, just creating that wraparound support for all New Zealand small business to help them thrive and survive and grow. That does bring our session and our first day of our conference to a close. So once again, thank you to our audience who has joined us throughout the day, and thank you to our presenting organisations. It's been wonderful to host you all. Just having a look at it, I just saw a note pop through in our chat. Just want to double check that that's not a question. Is there a reason that there are not so many people chatting? Sorry, I've had interruptions to the day. We have had a number of questions come through. I think probably just to answer that, the sessions are kind of information sessions. We are happy to have more questions come through the chat. So if you would like to contribute to that, please do come to our sessions tomorrow and on Thursday. We'll be happy to have some more action in the chat. But we do also get a lot of follow-up from our conference recordings. I know that our small businesses are a bit time and resource poor this time of year, so we get a lot of people registering for for this, watching the recordings post the event, and then we get feedback that way as well. So if that is you and you don't have time to attend a session that you would like to attend, please do register, and we will also send you a link to your preferred sessions. Thanks again so much for co-hosting with me today, Rich. Thank you again, Hannah and Victoria. Wonderful to have you all here with us this afternoon, and I do hope that you can join us in our next 2 days. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks.